13th of March 2025, and we are voting national government elections in South Africa. We are voting. I want to feel how you guys are feeling about yesterday's budget speech, and I want to understand what our thoughts look like that influence our decision making towards voting perhaps in the future. But I would like to know how we feel today, as things might change in the future. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do understand that I am not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our beautiful country. Yes, let's talk about our voting. Let us vote in the comment section, because I'd like to see where our thoughts lie. I have seen some people's posts on X, which I'm not going to bring here because it's going to take a long time for me, and I got stuff to do, but I became a bit curious what we are thinking at this moment. So I have my top 8 political parties of South Africa in no particular order. I want to hear from you. Who are you voting as of today? We are voting. It's the 13th of March 2025, and we are unhappy about that budget speech. Do you get? And the proposed VAT increase. Before it started at 2%, and I think they were trying to get us to say, at least 1% if you get half of it, and then later another half is better than 1%. So at the end of the day, South Africans are still not having it. They are saying, let us do what Kenya did. Let us take to the streets and cancel all that they are trying to do to us, making life super expensive for South Africans. So we are voting, guys. So before we start voting, let us think a bit back. I want to tell you about me, the party that I had in mind. Since we are trying to look for solutions, by the way, I am an ANC member. Sometimes people fight with me in the comment section and said, it is people like you that keep the ANC in power. Who said? But I'd like to tell you straight, just everyone knows I am an ANC member. I voted for ANC since I started voting long time ago. I've been voting for the ANC, but it reaches a time where you're saying, this relationship is toxic. I gotta find solutions. So I was like shopping around, and for me, please, you allowed to have your opinion in the comment section against what I am saying, or even if you support it, or even if you are against it. What I'm saying is, to me, ANC, EFF, and MK are one political party. Then if ANC is MK, and MK is ANC, so is EFF is MK, and MK ANC, and ANC MK. That is me. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to separate them so that I get to know the minds of our people, so you guys get to know my own mind too, according to the speech of today. So prior to these things that have been happening in South Africa up to the budget speech, first of all, I was all for the Democratic Alliance. I was considering the Democratic Alliance seriously, because we are looking for solutions. Do you get? And then at that time, I was separating the Democratic Alliance from AFRIFORUM. Do you see? Up until I saw AFRIFORUM doing what they did. And now for me, it became a concern, that marriage between the Democratic Alliance and AFRIFORUM, it became a concern. And the reason why it became a concern, it is because I have been, if you can look back at my videos, unfortunately I can't do that now because, in my previous videos, I have been asking, why is the Democratic Alliance not using their quote-unquote white privilege to speak against racism, especially that is happening in the places of work, just the racism that is there in South Africa, not the open one. You see now, the racism that we have is very treacherous. It goes on the grass. You see somebody dropping and they were bitten by the racism snake and no one saw it. So I was asking myself, why are they not leading? Because who is better positioned to fight such, if not the people of the same color? To get, I also speak against the racism that comes sometimes. I've always been saying this, that whenever the ANC is failing at doing something, they go to the corner of racism. The racism that we know very well that exists in South Africa, but it cannot be the answer to everything. That's my chat. So now I was considering the Democratic Alliance, but AFRIFORUM scattered that table. I no longer want the Democratic Alliance until otherwise. When we start talking like that, and okay. So now at this moment, I don't know who to vote for. At the same time, what I saw Elon Musk do, Donald Trump do, I started seeing what Julius Malema has been talking about for the longest time, the white supremacists and all of that. It removed the veil from my eyes. I was like, nah, something else is going on here. So I'm just going to keep my vote. And I started praying for the forgiveness amongst these leaders. Julius Malema, President Jacob Zuma, and President Cyril Ramaphosa. I was like, these people need to find themselves and we group again and rebuild the ANC, but purify it. It has to go through the fire. It has to go through the fire, because I don't know what is happening anymore, especially on the side of the Democratic Alliance. And sometimes something in me says, AFRIFORUM feels like the Democratic Alliance has become weak now. They want to position themselves as a political party that is pro-white, to get that pushes white supremacists to the top more than they are now, to get. So I get confused. So now again, I was there still in my own imaginary world saying, you know what, if President Cyril Ramaphosa, former President Jacob Zuma, and Julius Malema could find their way to each other again, because I also feel like the leaving of the EFF, Julius Malema, with a lot of the Youth League, created a gap whereby we couldn't have leaders, the future leaders within the ANC. So there's that void that was created during that time, and also the side that went with former President Jacob Zuma. We need a stronger ANC again. I would love this. I dream of this day whereby they will come out in public and be raising their hands up like the comrades, holding hands together and say, we have found one another again. Always, if it means forgiving the cases, man, forgive all the cases. But on a serious note, let us come back. And there is the Patriotic Alliance, there is a ATM, there's Action SA. So when we talk about Action SA, there's a lady that is doing a good, that mayor of the executive mayor of Patriotic Alliance in the city of Tshwane. She looks consistent at what she is doing. People in South Africa have been complaining that if you go on these campaigns to clean up the cities, you clean once and you leave and you never go back. And whatever you were fighting on that particular day, it goes back to being normal and people continue with what they were doing before. So it's a wasteful expenditure, a fruitless exercise. So people have been complaining about that. Now that we see in Tshwane that lady and his team, they are very consistent in what they are doing. So that's what we need. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, we have not tested them much. We don't know how they could be, maybe at a broader scale. At least if they were number 2 party in South Africa, then one would be more confident, because we don't know what causes people to change as soon as they're in the top position. But at the same time, I end up seeing things like, okay, they are all the same. They are all the same. Even the DA confused me when they started talking on the other side in America, saying, no, they just came here to clarify things. I was like, what is going on? We do have the government. We do have the leadership in South Africa. Where is the protocol that's supposed to be followed. Why is the whole table of governance scattered in South Africa? It's like you pull a piece and you want to do whatever you want in your corner as you please. So as things stand, I don't know who to vote for. But if I were to really have to choose today, that's my mind, I would choose Action SA. As of today, I would choose Action SA. Not because I think they can be good at governance, because of that one. I'm from a distance. I don't know the inner workings. I'm taking things at face value. I'm not even going down because you know what? We are upset. That budget speech is upsetting. So I want to know from you guys, who would you vote for if you were to vote today? Considering the budget speech of yesterday. Yes, Anna, if you watched up to here, Ditengosi, because you had to sit for such a long time listening to me up to this point. Anyway, guys, and the next time you bump into my videos, kindly watch my ads in full. It really goes a long way, as that is the only way you can support the channel for now. Nibe nobusuku obumnandi.